So influencers, they flash something, then financial advice
Flash something else.
flash. Yeah, I don't think you all want me to flash anything lah, right? So
Welcome back to the Money Mind YouTube channel. I hope you have enjoyed our first episode on Mother's Day, and today on the second episode, we'll be sharing about things people say about insurance agent. So today we have Glenn, Robinson, Grace, and myself, Yvonne, who will be sharing with us some misconception people have about insurance agent. So let's get straight into it.
So, why are you guys so pushy in the shopping center? So let's start with Dodo.
I think now, now no more safe distancing already. So I think we're gonna expect more of that soon. Okay, so do you all want to do roadshows now? I think it's not something that is in our nature. It's only reserved for maybe certain kind of teams that like to do roadshows or actually get sales from roadshow. Then, to be honest, right, actually not everyone is our target market because everyone is rushing. So I think the kind of people that usually at roadshows we should be looking for is those that maybe accompany boyfriend, accompany spouse, bring kids go tuition, then they walking around, lepak, they got nothing to do. Then after that, they will realize that like, hey, interestingly, you're giving out free headphones, Then after that, okay lah, I don't mind lah, not bad lah. Then after that, they sit down, then they hear, hey, this plan like, hey, not bad okay lah, don't mind. Then they do savings plan. Then I think that is the target market.
Now you all know we all target this kind of people.
So make sure you go shopping center, you got something you want to do.
Yeah,
If you
don't
got nothing
loiter.
If you got nothing to do, you are the
Target market.
Target market. And it's not just us actually, because right, if you notice, there's this like perfume shop kind of.
Those
they
exotic
look,
looking.
yeah,
Free,
they don't
free
look like-
samples that they just give out,
they
right?
don't
Yeah.
don't look like me lah, like this kind lah. They look very
Look like
exotic, very chill. Then the
Influencer
guy,
looks, yeah.
I think like maybe Middle Eastern country one. Then the eyebrows very thick, very chiseled look one. Yeah, so they also do the same style ma. They ask you whether you want free perfume. They ask you come and then they put the thing on your cream. They become very magical. It's the same thing lah. So I think it's like if you do roadshow or if you do sales, probably this is the best way to acquire clients in this way. Yeah. So I have one experience that I want to share with this kind with this person lah. So they will ask like, hey, they'll come and say, hey, your face very oily. Then they see like I'm mopping, then they will ask, hey, do you want to know how to take care of your face? Yeah. So of course at the time a little bit tilted lah. Imagine with financial advisor, then we see someone shopping a lot of things, carry a lot of things. Then say, hey, don't anyhow shop, You want to do some proper financial planning or not? No, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. You have to approach as many people. That's why it appears as pushy lah. Because if you really like, super focused, you want to go and do your things, then at the end of the day, someone can tap you, you also got tilt lah. Yeah. Then if you ask the wrong thing, even more tilt lah.
So Yvonne, you think that we are pushy?
I don't think so. I mean, we don't even do much roadshow to begin with, and even when we do roadshow, as much as like we always say, hey, we want to close on the spot, but we always don't. Maybe we suck at it but like we always like, we let the client think, okay, we meet you at the second time, third time to do a proper fact find and all that, then we only have the sale after that, right? So I don't think we are pushy in that sense, but I got to say, to be honest, majority out there can be seen as pushy because like I think they are being pressured to do it on the spot. Or like maybe even not us, sometimes we don't even approach people. We get like part-timers, right, taggers, to go and approach people, and then we'll tell them to like, hey, you must chase the person, that kind of stuff. So then that's why I guess the public will think that like, hey,
That's
they are
harassment.
they're very pushy.
So actually, end day we don't want to be
it's,
pushy.
it's not
right?
us. 我们真的不要
We really
的。
also don't want. Yeah.
Also, like, you just joined, right? You never had roadshow before, but
Yeah.
as a consumer, were you being approached and do you feel that like people were very pushy?
Yeah, I think in fact recently I had a personal experience. So I was at Tiong Bahru and I was approached by a certain financial institution lah. So they had a booth on Cashew Life lah. So apparently I look like I'm 30 and above. So they actually gave me that brochure. So if you guys don't know, Cashew Life is for 30 and above. It's a long-term care scheme. And I was actually rushing from point A to point B. I haven't had my dinner. So it was quite obvious that I didn't have time to actually sit down. But the agent was, he tried to approach me twice, but after rejecting him politely, he just handed me a brochure. Yeah, so actually, honestly, I think roadshows are still a good avenue for education purposes lah, in terms of reaching out to the public. Because I mean, if I were 30, I wouldn't even have heard about what Cashew Life is about. Yeah, so when it comes to approaching prospects, right, I think nowadays we're moving towards digital as well lah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Instagram, and people actually click on a certain campaign to sign up for a freebie. But I think roadshows is just the same thing. It's just that it's physical. Yeah, and I think that there's still a certain market for it lah.
Yeah.
About the pushy part, I don't think it's a pushy. I just think it's a term people use that is pushy lah. It's just a way of capturing attention. If we don't capture your attention, like at least for me lah, if anyone were to approach me, my first answer would be no, no matter what.
So I think now, like after the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Then for so many 2 years lah, you no longer see road shows or carnivals. Actually now, if you go to a shopping mall, then you actually see that it's a breath of
Fresh air.
lah. Like, as much as maybe a bit annoying, it's like, hey, things are getting back to normal. Okay, I don't mind. Then I don't mind sitting down. I don't mind take the headphones. Then I don't mind buy another plan. No?
Yeah.
Okay lah.
Why are insurance agents so flashy with their money and lifestyle sometimes?
I beg to differ. I really beg to differ. I mean, there are people who are flashy. You don't have to be insurance agent to be flashy, right? But like, I have some people who don't do very well. I mean, who are doing very well, but they are not flashy, right? And I think likewise, for me at least, I think it's all about spending within your means. If you're happy and then the car expenses doesn't like take a toll on your expenses, then by all means, right? But like over time, when I'm like planning for my clients, then I realized actually there's a lot of people out there who are doing so much better. Like they are maybe business owners, they are CEOs in multinational companies, and their bank definitely a lot more money than mine, right? So they are not driving such flashy cars. Then it kind of reminds me that actually not everybody is like that. Maybe because we are in the industry, we are always revolving, we are always like with people around us that are like that. Then it makes us feel that like, oh, we also have to be like that.
I think the moment we see that only, then we will be like, wow, I didn't know he's doing so well. Then you see he driving Porsche, or after that upgraded, drive Lamborghini. Like, wow, I didn't know that all the while he's doing that well. So like that's the first thing
That
on your
people
mind already.
associate
That
with,
like when they associate, right, even for our 内行人 or insider, we also will think that way. So I think it is part of there's like a little bit of a pressure to have to do that. It's instinctive lah, because how else? I think if you want to say that, like, okay, you want to show your awards, you want to show your lifestyle, I think that's the most straightforward, like in your face kind of thing that you are doing well. Then maybe it's to attract recruits, like candidates to want to join the industry. So no choice, right? So they'll say, hey, they see you as a agency leader, then doing well, they also will be more attracted. Yeah. But after that, I think it gives you a chance. But at the end of the day, you sit down with the person, then you see the person no quality, then you still lose your chance lah. But at least you got your opportunity.
Then speaking from a 10 years agent, what about someone new, like slightly more new like Grace?
But actually, I'm quite curious when it comes to this kind, when they buy a Porsche, Ferrari, let's say, do you think this kind of luxurious lifestyle is hard to upkeep? Because once I start off with a Porsche, I kind of have to stick to it, right? If not, I suddenly downgrade to, let's say, a Japanese car. And then people will think, hey, why Agent X suddenly downgrade?
No, but if they like this means as financial advisors, they don't have proper financial planning already, right? It's right. Ironic lah, it's ironic in that sense. And then people with that kind of lifestyle also flash. Yeah, like they will show their Rolex, they will show their Porsche. right? So to want to mix around with them,
They
then
have to be.
you also
Yeah.
do the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
lor. You also do the same thing. Yeah.
Totally. I think it's a stigma lah. Like at the same time, we are living in this generation. From a psychological standpoint, people like to associate with people that are doing well. So well is like that person have positive characteristics. For example, they do well, they are good looking, they show their self often in the public. So you all know about all these positive traits. So for myself, I just share like family moments lah. I don't really go and flaunt like I have a great watch like Apple Watch. Sponsor me, yeah. No,
That's
Apple
also a good watch,
okay.
leh, Apple
so,
Watch.
like
Not
it's
cheap, oh.
not a bad watch lah, but I won't purposely go and flaunt any kind of watch, even if I have a Rolex or whatnot. So normally it's just how Asians have this stigma. I believe like what Yvonne said, even CEO, all this, it's just what kind of people you want to hang out with. If you like to be with successful people, this will capture you. If you don't like to be like people that keep flaunting their watch, their cars or anything, then you probably don't like their social media as well.
No, you can have it, but you don't flash, lor.
Yeah.
So I think.
Subtle flash, Don't
So
like.
I think for the audience, if they see that why advisors always like to flash, right? I think they have to like, sympathize, like bo pian lah. It's part of their job lah.
Yeah, I give you an example. Why I say it's a stigma, it's like influencer also flash. I mean,
Yeah.
Flash
Flash right.
Okay, the flash means
Shake
like,
around.
they share their
Lifestyle.
lifestyle and the stuff they need to promote.
Yeah.
So they flash.
Flash the product.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing,
It's the
right?
same
like
thing.
If we
we have
flash
to-
the
we have
policy
to-
contract.
We have to think like to them it's like no choice lah. They have to do this lah. So influencers they flash something, then financial advisor
Flash something else.
flash. Yeah, I don't think you all want me to flash anything lah, right? So
Is keeping commission within the family, passing down clients to another family members a very common thing? If you have family members that are financial advisor, was there pressure for you to become one as well? So let's start off with Grace.
Right, I think it's quite common that, for the older generation to pass down to their kids, which is like millennials, or if we go further, it's the Gen Z. It's basically like a family business. If I have friends who are in the printing business, different forms that they like to actually hand over to their kids. So, but I think when it comes to career choices, the way that the current generation thinks is very different from the older generation. Yeah, so it might take some form of convincing. And of course, I think for the younger gen, there is a pressure to actually uphold the standards. Let's say if their parents were like COT or TOT member, right? And you kind of feel that, hey, I have to continue this legacy, right? If not, it's like 丢脸 disgrace to the family. Yeah, but I think it's quite lucky as well. It's quite worth it. I mean, if you start off the career with a base of clients, yeah, so you can even reach out to your parents' clients' parents and the grandparents. Yeah, so in that perspective, I would think so lah. Yeah, how about you, Yvonne?
I mean, similarly, if you think about don't say our industry, like if you really set up a business on your own, you build it up, it's ethical, it's legitimate, it's all your hard work and sweat. And then you have been doing this for maybe the last 20 years. Obviously, if let's say somebody comes along from your family member that says, oh, I also want to try, you would naturally give it to them. I mean, provided they are capable, I won't anyhow give my clients away to somebody like that's not doing well or like don't know how to take the business seriously, right? So I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like if there's somebody that wants to take over the business, like the family business per se. So if let's say my kid, hey, I want to be an insurance agent, oh, by all means. But if they don't want, I'm not gonna.
Who will grow up and like,
I
next time
aspire
when
to be a
Next
financial.
time when I grow up, I want to be a financial advisor.
Maybe because like the kid grew up looking at you, seeing how you enjoy your
See how hard you
your
work,
life, even though you work hard, play
How you
hard.
provide for them.
As long as my parents
Then,
is
like,
successful, pass down a business,
Yeah.
insurance, no matter what business, I want to be the second generation.
You want to
Just
be the
rich.
you want to be the 富二代.
The 富二代.
Born with a silver
you are
spoon.
what you are.
I'm not.
Secretly,
Yeah.
actually.
So about
is-
Dodo, since you are a senior position in this role right
Actually, right, if you look back 10 years ago, right, before I joined this business, right, I didn't think that this was a thing. Like, I didn't know that, it's like really such a family business structure, and then like people really bring their spouse in, bring their children in. Then after that, I mean, only after entering, then like, I saw examples lah. Yeah. So it may not necessarily be a bad thing, right? Maybe the audience will feel that like, hey, why, they just pass down the policies, then, they just follow the parents, then just get rich lah, just very, very easily, just get into a position where they can have a lot of clients, yeah. But if you think of it from, let's say, family business point of view, like you all mentioned, right? So if you have a chicken rice store, then you work for like 50 years, it's actually very wasted, right? And when we talk about this kind of business, we also talk about the longevity. So we have clients, then our clients have children. Then you don't want like a 60-year-old, then you go down, then you're still talking to 18-year-old or 20-year-old, they might think that you outdated lah, right? You don't know my lingo and all that shit. Yeah. So if I bring in someone, and the easiest way like is to bring in let's say my own kid, then can be quite relatable lor. Yeah. So I think it's as much as like a lot of people some bad examples is like they try to manipulate the system to get as much remuneration, as much benefits. But if we think of it from a business point of view, right, I think it's quite common lah. If you have your own business, whether is it this or any other thing, I think you also want like someone to pass down to.
Yeah.
Lor.
I totally agree. But ultimately, I would say that like if you want to pass down business to your next of kin, they must have the capability.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Especially in our line, we are client facing. We are B2C. So in some sense, the clients can actually choose the agent if they don't like. So like now you like the papa, the mama, but you don't like the kid. Then
you change agent?
change
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah, if end up your kid like awkward one, then also so you have to. I think at the end of the day, clients got a lot of choice.
Right.
Yeah, they can, as much as like, wow, I follow you for 10, 20 over years, then it's like a natural progression. But if you are not doing a good job, and I think the industry, the standards is it's very competitive. Then it's always changing,
Yeah.
So we may not. I mean, the new your kid may not be able to keep up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have come to the end of the video. Let us know if you have any myths about insurance agents that we have not covered in the comments below. And if you have any questions about the financial services industry, do comment. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.